Hello and welcome to the Alliance live show number 21. I'm your host, Ramon Azab, aka Remon with the Alliance, and I'm joined by my usual co-host, good old Maurice, the Golden Chinchilla. What's going on, brother?
What's going on, man? Very golden.
Very golden as usual. And we have some interesting stuff to discuss. As you can see here on the screen now, we're taking a look at some Smuggler Han and some Chewbacca footage. This was given to me courtesy of EA. Thank you very much for that. Definitely going to have some more content on them coming up as well. But first thoughts on what you see right now, or what you saw in the event, Maurice?
I'm sorry, yeah, I'm here. Yeah, what'd you say?
I said, what are your first thoughts?
Well, my first thoughts are they pump out some damage, and then I open up my Scoundrels tab. I have no leaders to put them under, to make them arena viable. It's like, oh, Boba Fett and Lando, eh?
Well, Boba Fett and Lando are actually pretty good leaders. I mean, with Lando, you get the speed also, and you get some crit damage. And with Boba's chance at crit damage, I mean, that's a pretty cool leader to have them under. But again, first thoughts, I think they look awesome. I think they have some great attacks. I mean, I'm just kind of shocked to see a Chewbacca that can do damage. I mean, he's been a character that up to this point really haven't thought about a lot since the beginning of the game when you had to have him. Anyway, I want to go.
This Chewbacca is definitely more usable than the Chewbacca we have. From the beginning of the game.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That's for sure.
For sure. Now, just taking a look at the update on 9.6. They released veteran Smuggler Han Solo, and veteran Smuggler Chewbacca. They also released a new environment called Eravana, and these are the Chewbacca and Han Solo from The Force Awakens, so the older version of Chewbacca and Han Solo. There was an event to obtain these characters that has been going on for the last 2 days called Days Like These 1 and Days Like These 2, where you can get Chewbacca and Han Solo shards. There were also a couple of packs and bundles. I believe one of the packs was the typical $12.99 pack, and then you have the $19.99 pack, which gives you 25 shards of both Chewbacca and Han Solo. Ahsoka Tano was taken out of the shard shop, and Commander Luke Skywalker's portrait was changed in the game to make him look a little bit different than Farm Boy Luke. I have to say, the picture of Luke now looks kind of like it looks like a faker picture than any of the other pictures that are in the game. I don't know if you know what I'm saying. It looks like
a cover up of a romance novel. It looks ridiculous.
He does look like the guy on the cover of a romance novel. I agree. Now, this is something that I actually didn't like. Death Trooper's grenade no longer increases ability cooldowns for units with special buffs. I don't know. I feel like that's going to suck against Commander Luke. But, yeah. Other than that, pretty standard stuff. Now, the abilities for Smuggler Han and Chewbacca, just going into first Smuggler Han, he has a basic attack called True Shot, which is going to be deal physical damage to target enemy with a 50% chance to attack again. This chance is doubled if the target is debuffed. Han inflicts stagger for 2 turns when he attacks again. So, yeah, looking at that, I mean, it looks like basically like Raid Han Solo's basic attack. I mean, almost the same thing, basically, right?
Okay, so let me ask you this. If he's going to double tap and he lands that stagger on the first turn, he can stagger you, then tap you again and remove all your turn meter?
Exactly.
Is that how this is going to work?
Exactly.
Basically?
Yeah.
Okay.
Then his special attack, can I try that, is deal physical damage to all enemies, stun the primary target for 1 turn with an 80% chance to inflict ability block on all enemies for 1 turn. So, and that looks like a hell of a shot. That's like the same attack he did in the movie itself, with where he borrows Chewbacca's bowcaster. He has
that AoE does some pretty significant damage.
Yeah, it does.
He's got.
It does.
Like, those are some big numbers on the AoE. That's like Lando-esque numbers.
Yeah, it's pretty much like that. So I mean, it's interesting. You know, I think that him and Chewbacca together just doing a lot of damage. You know, as far as the first impressions are concerned from the footage that I saw when I first got a chance to take a look at it, I saw Chewbacca doing 21K, or sorry, 29K on a counterattack. And you know, when you got Chewbacca doing 29K on a basic, that's awesome. And you know, he looks like he's doing a lot of damage too. He's also got this like bear smack where he smacks you in the face, but we'll go over that in a second. Han's unique ability is Han is plus 25% critical chance, plus 50% health steal. Whenever veteran smuggler Chewbacca takes damage, Han gains 20% crit damage, stacking until he scores a critical hit. When veteran smuggler Chewbacca is defeated, Han gains 100% turn meter, his cooldowns are reset, and he takes an additional turn after his next turn. So, again, he's going to get to go a lot, and he's going to get turn meter if Chewbacca is defeated. But, again, kind of weird that they didn't smack on the resistance tag with them, or the at least the rebel tag. But you know, again, they're going to be scoundrels, so you're going to be limited as far as the synergies you're going to be able to work with them. You know, you're going to definitely be able to use you know, Lando, we said Boba Fett, you know, IG-88, but you know, these characters, obviously there's a lot of rebels in the game, and you know, I think there's not enough resistance characters in the game, so it'd be cool to see more of that. But his unique ability, Swindle, is whenever an enemy gains a buff, Han gains 25% counter chance stacking until the end of his next turn. Whenever Han gains a debuff, he gains 50% defense stacking until the end of his next turn. Whenever Han gains any status effects, he gains 50 armor penetration stacking until the end of his next turn. That's a pretty cool unique. Which one of these is a Zeta?
Let me look. I'm not really sure, but I mean, like, you know, me personally, I see these the way they release these characters with the events, and they give us all the 3-star. I'm just personally, I don't hit to them until they become available, because I'm not going to probably buy those $12.99 packs. You know, so I'd rather not even look at them. You know, get all excited about some character that I'm probably not going to have for a while. But you know, I mean, let me have a look here at the actual kits. I'm really excited about this character. I think these characters look great. It's just, you know, it's back to the lack of leadership of the scoundrels, and then you cannot use AoE in Arena right now with all the Commander Loop leads. You know, it's just, you can't do it. I mean, if you run in there with IG-88, Boba Fett, and you know, the new Han character, they're all AoE characters. You're just gonna get destroyed. You know, just from all the counters.
Yeah, I agree 100%. What about?
Chewie is super slow. I'll tell you that. 102 base speed. Let the Wookiee win is a Zeta ability. He's one of his uniques. I imagine Han's is the same. Let me verify that.
Now, Chewbacca's basic attack is going to be called Explosive Bolts, and it's deal physical damage to target enemy with an 80% chance to inflict daze on them for 2 turns. His special ability is Furious Blow, and this is where he runs up and bear claws you right in the face. And it's deal physical damage to target enemy, dispel all buffs on them, and stun them for 1 turn. Inflict speed down on all enemies for 2 turns. It's basically an attack to just the target enemy, but so it's also a dispel attack. So if you let's say the enemy's taunting, you're able to dispel them, but you also have a chance to inflict speed down on all enemies for 2 turns, so it kind of affects every character too. So it's pretty cool. Again, this is an attacker Chewbacca, so he's not going to have as much HP, I imagine, as the taunting Chewbacca. Have we taken a look at the stats yet? How much protection and health does he have?
Hold on a second. Carry on, I'll interrupt you. Yeah, and Han Solo's second unique, the Swindle, is the Zeta. The Zeta, all the Zeta seems to do is whenever Han gains any status effect, he gains 50 armor penetration.
Really?
So
yeah, that seems like a not so worthwhile Zeta. That seems like one I'm gonna pass on that one.
Yeah.
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 There's definitely a lot of other Zetas I'd rather do before that. You know, there's some Zetas that just make you scratch your head. I mean, it's like there's no way you're picking that over, like, let's say, Zader. I'm definitely going to Zeta my my Luke Skywalker before I Zeta that ability.
The new Han is 26k health and 31k protection. And I'll check out Chewie. I imagine he's maybe a little more.
Now Chewie's
145 base speed is nothing to. That's pretty good.
That's Han.
For an attacker.
145 is Han.
Yeah, his base speed, and then Chewie is 102 base speed. Then also he's got 33k health and almost 40,000 protection. And that's base without any mods. That's a lot.
32k health and 40,000 protection. That's a lot for an attacker.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
you get like you get a couple of those protection primaries. I mean, you're well into the six figures as far as health protection go.
Absolutely. That's interesting.
I mean, off the top of my head, I can't think of any attacker that has of survivability. That's crazy.
That's really crazy, yeah. I think I'm gonna have to exit with the Phoenix Squad on this battle. This is I'm getting dominated here on auto. Okay, now moving on to his unique ability, which is Partner in Crime. Chewbacca has a 25% critical chance and plus 50% health steal. When veteran Smuggler Han Solo takes damage, Chewbacca gains 20% crit damage, stacking until he scores a crit hit. When veteran Smuggler Han Solo is defeated, Chewbacca gains 100% turn meter, his cooldowns are reset, and he takes an additional turn after his next turn. So pretty much exactly the same as his Han Solo's unique ability. Now, let's see here. Now, his other unique is Let the Wookiee Win, and that's at the start of each enemy turn. Chewbacca gains 12% offense, stacking until he uses two abilities. So, basically, until he goes twice, every enemy turn he gains 12% offense. That's kind of nuts, actually, if you think about it, right? I mean, what if he's stunned or something, right? I mean, that means if there's no limit, I mean, his offense could stack an insane amount, and then he could just do like one blast damage, like just basically, he's probably going to be able to do like 50k, 60k.
Well, that's probably where you saw that 29k counter. Is like he got his offense stacked a bit, and then he just counters and just lay in the wood on the counter attack. I mean, if he can resist hitting that auto button, I mean, he could do some big damage. There's a lot of characters like this. You get like him, and you get a Zeta on like Farm Boy Luke, and like Sidious leads, all this stacking stuff going around.
I mean,
crazy.
If he were to get stunned and stack that offense for like 3 turns, 4 turns, I mean, it would be pretty hardcore the amount of damage you could do if it really just endlessly stacks. But interesting. They both seem really cool. I mean, again, the benefit is you get 2 great new characters that you can use pretty much probably, I mean, just like any other characters now. I mean, you have people using Thrawn and mixing in all different characters, of course Darth Nihilus and other characters like that into pretty much any squad. So I mean, you could probably work a veteran Chewbacca and Han Solo into a rebel team or into another team. You may not necessarily have to have them work with scoundrels. So be interesting to see, though. So moving on here, before we go into this next Galactic War battle, let's take a look at the meta report. Okay, and first we're going to take a look at the top 10 leaders at rank 1 as usual, and guess who's at rank 1? You're never going to believe it.
Veteran Han Solo.
No, it's Commander Luke Skywalker.
Oh man.
It's Commander Luke Skywalker. Yeah, he's actually almost at like 45% of the pie. I mean, he's pretty much, it's like 8 o'clock, on the pie. It's crazy. It's so crazy that it's literally it's like 40% Luke, like 20% Rex, 20% Kenobi, and then like the last 10% is pretty much split up between Grand Admiral Thrawn, Qui-Gon, Admiral Akbar, Finn, Wedge Antilles, Darth Maul, and Darth Nihilus. Darth Maul is now 9th place in rank 1 leaders. That's a big fall. Finn is ahead of Darth Maul now.
Yes, sir. Well, Akbar came out of nowhere.
Akbar is working his way in to the fold. Akbar is definitely on his way back. And that's because, again, speed, his ability to, use... or his ability to give all Rebel allies an extra attack with any special that they do, that's pretty cool. And Tactical Genius is also great. Like I said, with a Luke Skywalker, Tactical Genius can really work great because, if he uses his specials, I mean, he gets to go, a couple of times, already. So, again, that extra 30 speed is a huge bonus, too. But, I mean, Commander Luke Skywalker dominating the meta. Obviously, Rex is still in the picture somewhere, and so is Kenobi. But Kenobi's actually seen a lot more use now too. I mean, you've seen a lot of Kenobi leads, but just to see how condensed that bottom 10% of the pie is, it's crazy. You have 8 leaders that are crammed into like a really small piece, with Darth Nihilus still hanging on by a thread, probably being closely chased behind by Clone Sergeant number 1. Clone Sergeant Phase 1.
Yeah.
All right, so moving on to the top 10 squad members at rank 1. Number 1 is still R2-D2, with Commander Luke Skywalker right behind him, and General Kenobi right behind him. Then you have Grand Admiral Thrawn, Darth Nihilus, Raid Han Solo. Raid Han Solo hasn't been on this list like ever. So, where he's at now is a huge change. Barriss Offee's seeing a lot of use again. You're seeing Barriss Offee is at rank 9 right now. And Baze and Chirrut are slowly working their way down. Seeing a lot less of them. And Baze and Chirrut are now at rank 7 and 8. So Princess Leia is at rank 10 too. So I'm kind of surprised that Baze and Chirrut are seeing their way out so much, but I mean, really, you're seeing more Han Solos than you're seeing Baze Malbus or Chirrut Imwe in Arena right now, which is crazy. The Han Solo Zeta is crazy. Have you seen it yet? Do you have one in your arena?
Oh yeah, I got tons of them. I got tons of Gear 12 Hans just hanging out, stunning, whoever they want on my team. It's just, he's squishy though, so you can.
He's really annoying if he's alive. If you have somebody that if you're getting stuck behind a taunt, the problem is if you have somebody who has like a really fast Darth Nihilus or something like that, right? And they increase your cooldowns, you can't get off. Let's say you can't get out of an attack, or you get stuck on a taunt because of let's say R2-D2 throws up the smoke screen, so they're all kind of hidden, and you can't attack veteran Han, or sorry, you can't attack Raid Han. Then he's really dangerous because he could pretty much take out your tank in 2 attacks, 3 attacks. You know what I'm saying? So it's pretty hardcore. And if he does that other attack, that special that gives him turn meter based on his crit chance, if they have his crit chance jacked up, it's basically like another 100% turn meter. So it's it's
just counter that kills you. It's just like you almost have to use R2. I mean, just to stealth your team, so he's not going to counter you. The only viable arena option with Daze is maybe Death Trooper, and I guess Maul, but I mean, again, you don't want to AOE. You don't want to do any AOE against a loot team. You know.
No, you don't. You don't. But he's seeing a lot of usage. So I mean, it's definitely cool because Han was never good at anything, and you know, finally, I mean, I guess he has his spot. I guess him being squishy really compensates for that. I mean, is he still squishy at Gear 12?
I'm not sure. I don't have a Gear 12 raid Han. I mean, I'm still not having much trouble. I just use Ezra and Leia and pretty much can lay them out.
Is that team working for you? You told me about that team last week. Is that still working out for you?
Oh yeah, I love that team. Oh yeah, I can beat anybody in about 90 seconds. Just all these new teams. Now it doesn't do too hot on defense. I fall back into the teens, but that's kind of to be expected with any team. You know, right now.
Pretty much.
Anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, you're not gonna dominate right now, which is crazy. But I mean, you are starting to see again a situation where you remember the pie was kind of spread out for a while there, and we were seeing, you know, all different types of leaders. There was no real. I mean, there were, you know, obviously, you know, people that were at rank 1, but it was not so spread out that, you know, there was one person that was clearly dominating the pie. And now, I mean, Commander Luke Skywalker has basically taken over the meta with Kenobi and who was the third person? Kenobi and I'll tell you right now. Kenobi and Rex, right? So yeah, Rex is still in the picture too, but I think you'll start to see less and less of them. I don't know. I mean, I find it kind of interesting though that we're back at a point where there's like 2 or 3 leaders that are really pretty much all of Arena, and that's kind of where they were trying to get away from. But you know, we're back there now. I'm not sure how much Gear 12 is really going to separate the class, because again, in the past, with updates to gear, level cap increases, there were also speed increases. I don't really think we're going to see a huge shift in Arena until they release, you know, the next level of mods, if that's something that comes. I don't know. Do you think that we're going to get 7-dot mods eventually?
Oh yeah, one day. They got nothing enough to throw at us. Keep us busy.
It was so disappointing that they gave those to us and then they took them back. Do you remember when they like just unequipped all the 6 and 7-dot mods that they gave out because of the raid?
Yeah. Yeah, and then they just like gave you back like 5-dot mods, like just like terrible ones. Like
they just gave you back a
7-dot mod with 85 speed on it. They give you this little 5-dot mod. Like, here, just take this 1500 protection.
Pretty much, yeah. It's crazy. But yeah, that's what they did. Let me pick. Let me go with this squad. So, I mean, as far as the first territory battles is concerned, how did it go for you? How did the first territory battles go for Zai?
They went well. We left a couple stars on the table. We had a couple guys out of town. We have a couple guys from the Ukraine in our guild, right? And there was a weird type of block going on there for the first couple of days. So that was interesting. And you know, then we had a couple guys that just kind of lost interest, and you know, we had to make, I think, 2 changes. But for the most part, we're still intact. It's all original members. Going through it, we got 37 stars. We can easily get 40 this week. Embarrassingly enough, we got to the final phase and realized we had an issue with 6-star capital ships. We couldn't 3-star the ship territory on top. We went ahead and fixed that right on up. We fixed that up, like, I don't know, an hour after the territory battles ended. So I'm confident we get 40 stars. Maybe in 2 weeks we can hit that 41 mark and get that purple prize box. How'd you guys do?
We got 43 stars.
Yes, sir.
You know how we did.
Yeah, I was giving you a second.
Yeah, I mean, no, we did pretty good. We're we definitely still have some things to work on to get to the point where we can eventually get 45 stars, and we ended up getting 46 Rebel Officer Leia shards, so that's cool. But I think we'll be able to get a full 50 this next time. So kind of surprised they waited so long for the next TB. I thought they were going to do the next one just the following day, but I guess they decided to wait a whole week for that.
You guys getting some bonus stars? You getting the 50 stars?
No, it's 45 stars.
Oh, yeah. We got the bonus round at Alpha.
Yeah, we had the bonus round. No, I'm excited to get 45 stars eventually, but of course, just getting Rebel Leia, Officer Leia Organa unlocked on the next territory battles is really cool. Excited about that, and eventually, when you do get the chance to get a 7-star Captain Han and a 7-star Rebel Leia Organa, you're getting 30 currency for the territory battle store. Yeah. And that's per person, so 30 times 50, so it's an additional 1,200 currency for the store at the end. That's pretty good. I mean, if you get to the point where you're getting 50 every single territory battles, and we do, let's say, 2 territory battles a week, there's a shot there to really pretty much every month get an additional full piece of gear pretty much, or another 20 Yoda shards if that's what you're going for. What did you do with your currency? Did you get Yoda shards?
I think I'm going to go Yoda shards, but it's not like I'm going to finish him right away. So I bought 2 purchases of the Cassian U-Wing, and I haven't spent anything else.
You bought the Cassian U-Wing? Really?
I feel like I want to get him up there just because those platoons in the ships are hard enough as is, and contribute a little bit to my guild, and maybe get that Cassian U-Wing up. I got all the characters, and so might as well get that ship rolling.
I hear you.
Long run for both, but I will probably do Yoda. I don't think I'm going to buy any gear. The gear is too steep for you're getting until we can unlock that final special mission. You're looking at maybe 5,000 currency tops a week, and that's not much. And you start buying gear with it, you'll buy like, I don't know, a tenth of a piece for all your currency. To pair it with the 5 salvage you got from the actual prize box. Those prize boxes were rather disappointed. You guys get any full drops?
Not us. But which is really pretty disappointing considering.
Yeah, man. I'm an officer, in the guild. We're sitting there coordinating. Everyone did a great job. Everyone's busting their butt, spending an excessive amount of time on the game, and we get rewarded with 10 gold salvage and 20 purple salvage.
I found it kind of weird that I mean, there were guilds that got nowhere near 40 stars and they got full pieces. I don't really understand that, but I guess it's all random. It's the way it's going to be. But I find it kind of weird that you put all that effort in, and you get, and then not a single person gets a full piece. I don't know.
Okay, but Star Kai asks kind of a relevant question here. What do you think about the whole guild getting the exact same rewards?
I like that.
What's your thoughts? Yeah, I do too.
I like that. I think it's it makes it less relevant about there's not going to be any Johnny Dangerouses out there trying to get the most points. It's all about the team. You know what I'm saying? And that's the main thing, because ultimately if you have people out there trying to there's going to be people that are going to they're going to work out of turn, and they're going to basically try to deploy when they're not supposed to deploy, just because they want to get points or contribute the most points to the guild. And again, ultimately that's not what the concern is here. You want the whole guild to get as many stars as possible. So it's going to be a situation like that. I think that definitely better for everybody to get the same rewards. Especially since it's not just like a a raid or a you know, thing like that. This is a 5-day you know, sorry, what was it, a 4-day event? It's a 4-day event, right? So yeah, 4-day event. I mean, that's something that's you know, it takes a lot of time. You know, when you do get the rewards, they should be for everybody. But yeah,
I like it. It just kind of sucks if, like, let's say you and I have the exact same strength guild, right? And we're both getting the exact same stars. Your whole guild lucks out on the drops and gets a full piece for the first 3 weeks, and my guild gets 5 pieces of salvage. I mean, you're you know, that's a huge advantage. It's, you know, it's kind of, I don't know. I know over time it will balance out. It's just, it's frustrating seeing all these guilds getting these full drops, and I mean, we hours and hours on this game mode, and we get 10 pieces of gold salvage. Just want to. I mean, we have to do 10 territory battles and get the same piece to drop to craft a full piece. That's frustrating to me.
Well, yeah, no, it is. I mean, you could buy the currency out of the store, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's definitely frustrating that that the gear pieces weren't better. I do like the crystals though that you get, because you know it finally adds another place where we're going to get crystals other than just arena. And I do also like the amount of currency that you get when you get over 40 stars. I mean, you know, you're getting enough. Like, I got enough to get 20 Yoda shards, I think. Let me see, how many Hermit Yoda shards did I get?
I want to say with the special missions and the
Hermit
rewards,
Yoda,
I think we
21.
got about 4,800 shop currency.
4,800.
That's almost enough for 2 Yoda pools. About 600-700 light, I think, for the I guess the 2,700 pools.
Okay, that's not bad.
Yeah, don't pull a Sith trooper and forget to unlock your your characters.
Oh, a Sith trooper? Yeah. No, I'm not doing that. Yeah, I gotta unlock. I'm gonna record that, so because I think I'm gonna make a video about it. So I'm gonna do that later.
Guys?
Yeah. Open 1 data pack, mod, and a fleet arena battle. Okay. Do you open all 5 of your free data packs every single day?
Well, I do 5 data packs every day.
Yeah.
No. I'm lucky to catch. Usually in about 10 minutes to reset, I realize I haven't pulled 1 bronzium all day, and just pull 1 and get it.
Yeah, that's pretty much the same thing for me. Just pull a bronzium. Last minute, just get it done. All right, let's see. Yeah, we'll go with this. But yeah, I mean, the thing is that that's pretty much the way it is with a lot of these things at the end of the day. You know, the challenges. I understand that they're trying to get you to come back and play the game again in 10 minutes with the challenges, and that's why they make you wait 10 minutes to do the challenges. But you know, at this point in the game, I feel like, you know, if you've done these challenges enough, you should be able to sim all the challenges at one time. Just get it done. That's what I say. Just get the challenges done. You know, so at least I can check in once a day, get all my stuff. Because there's already a lot of stuff you got to do in this game. You know, you got to, you know, now with territory battles, there's even more you got to do. So I'm saying, some of the mundane things, like, you know, the 5 data packs that you get a day. I mean, that kind of stuff. Just let me get the 5 data packs at once, so I don't miss anything, and you know. Because it's, you know, I'm gonna miss it because, you know, again, it's just such a small thing that it's probably not going to be a big deal. I mean, what do I need? Like, you know, what am I going to get? Like 7 Royal Guard shards? You know, it's really you know, unnecessary. But the thing is, you know, again, once you reach a certain player level, or you know, whatever, some of those things I think should become, you know, more just automatic. Like, you just go in there, you get all your challenges in one sim, you get all your you know, your data pack openings in one sim, and then you know, this way you can get your dailies done quick. Because if you're in a circumstance where, let's say, you have 5 minutes left, you know, you're gonna lose out on some stuff. And again, it's not a huge price to pay with some of the stuff, but it adds up over time. You know, but it's not making me come in and play the game more. So I think that that in that aspect, I think that some of the stuff should be changed. Because
speaking of which, I need to make sure I got all my challenges in. Glad you said something, because we'd sit here until reset and I'd miss out on 2 challenges. So.
Well, you got you got some time. You got a half hour. So and let's see. That's done. And now I got to get the mod leveled up, and then we'll finish that GW.
If any of you guys got questions about territory battles, about these new characters, whatever, some arena questions for the arena master Ramon here.
Yeah, the arena.
Away in the chat.
I'm not much of an arena master anymore. Yeah,
you are if you get to actually participate in arena.
Yeah, no, it's just also the I mean, like, when I'm doing the stream and we're doing arena battles, like, for some reason I can't really sit there and focus on the battle, and I make bad choices, and also I don't necessarily have the greatest mods. I've had the worst luck with mods throughout the history of this game. I'll tell you, I have, like I said, 0, 20 speed mods. The highest speed mod I have is a 17 secondary speed, and that's pretty bad for somebody who's bought a lot of mods, so I've just had a lot of bad luck with mods. So, I mean, since I don't have the speed, I have to really pay attention, especially when I'm fighting somebody faster than me in order to get the win in some cases. And if I'm not doing that, I'll blow it. But yeah, ask your questions in the chat if you want anything answered on the live stream. I'd like to also just find out how many Leia shards did you guys get over in Zai?
We got 10.
10?
And I think, yeah, we got 10. I was actually, because we're not, there's no pressure, like, we're not, like, demanding everybody get, I have a feeling we're going to reach close to 30 this next week. Everyone's really farming them, so we'll get there. There's really no rush. I mean, because, I don't know, there's not a rush to get our Rolo. I mean, there is, but there's not. I mean, because, if you're busting your butt and gearing all these characters just to get extra shop currency to get Hermit Yoda, like, this is a very long-term game mode, I don't know.
No, I agree 100%. I mean, if you're, if your guild isn't, like, I would not want to be one of the 4 guys that doesn't have a 5-star Han. You know what I'm saying? But if you're talking about, like, if there's like 3 people in the guild that have Han Solo, then, I mean, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, if you're in a situation where, you're playing with people that have spent a lot of money, I think making the $9 investment on that pack, if you're going to, if you do spend money on the game, that's your thing. So we're facing a team here with 4 Gear 12s in Galactic War now. That's awesome. What was I saying?
You were saying something about the $9 pack and the
I was saying
I'm
saying I think a $9 pack is not bad. I think I'm kind of surprised that they even priced it that. I thought they were going to try to charge more, and because they could have, and I guess they ended up just going with the $9 pack to start it off with, and if you spent maybe about another $10 on crystals, you probably could have got your character to to 5 stars by that time. Now I don't know. I mean, is it worth it? Not really, because I mean, again, you're talking about Leia Organa shards, and if you don't have 40, 50 of them, and you're not sitting there getting Han Solo to 7 stars right away, then it's going to take time for you to get to that challenge where you need them both for 7 stars later on anyway. So it's not really a big deal. But again, I wouldn't.
We set very fair deadlines for all the Hoth Soldier, the Hoth Scout, and the Captain Han. I think we our deadline for all those characters to have them and the Scout 6 stars like October 13th. Like that's a very, very fair deadline. That's like if you do one refresh of Cantina every day from 0 to 5 stars, you should be able to get them.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Obviously, a lot of the guys are going to have them ready next week, and then they might see the guys that don't have them see that the 35 is due, and without even being pressured, they might kind of step it up because, like you mentioned, you don't want to be that guy. I mean, I'm not like calling anybody out. It's just this territory battles is kind of slick how they did it. There's like a new sense of like obligation to the guild. You know what I mean? To encourage spending a bit, if that makes any sense. It's a new little strategy they have.
It makes you feel like you're letting your friends down if you don't spend money. And that's
there's no sort of pressure like that from from us. But I mean, it's just it's there. I mean, to deny that I mean, they made a killing on this Han pack. I guarantee it.
Absolutely.
Just because, I mean, there were guys that have zero money invested in the game and just out of obligation to their guild spent $10. So it was good. It was a good strategy.
Well, it's also, like I said, I mean, they didn't go for the the high spender in that pack. I mean, obviously, charging $10. I mean, you made it available for everybody. So, it's not the worst purchase to make either. I mean, even though I'm not really a huge fan of the character. I mean, I don't think Captain Han is going to have a ton of viability outside of what he's doing for you in territory battles. I do think that getting him to 5 stars, obviously being a necessity, is a decision that they made. Ultimately, I think that if you're going to get him there anyway, because you have to, getting a booster to do that for $10 is a pretty good deal. And on top of that, you're getting you're gonna want to refresh a few times to get him to 5 stars. I mean, it was very feasible to get him to 5 stars with less than $20 in the before the battle came for the first territory battle. So I think that a lot of people did that, and again, it's not but nobody can ask or make somebody else spend money. I mean, everybody's in different financial situations. I mean, some people have the money readily available to spend it at that time, and some people don't. I mean, it is what it is now. I don't think that anybody's going to look at anybody negatively if they didn't make that investment. But I think that for the most part, if you are in a situation where you could have made it and it would help out your team and it's not going to really affect you, then I don't think it's a bad decision. You know what I'm saying? I think it's there's nothing wrong with making an investment in something that you like or something that you play. So. It's just again, it's not something that everybody has to do, and if that's not something you're doing, then it's understandable. But I thought it was cool that there were people in Alpha that were donating gift cards to people to get them their Captain Han Solo up, so that we could get more Rolo shards. I thought that was very nice of some people to donate to some people that couldn't get the shards themselves to help them get there. So that we could get more, Leia shards, and like I said, it's going to be good. It's going to be good for the guild too, because ultimately, the quicker we get there, the quicker we're going to get that challenge or that part of the territory battles done, and the quicker we get an extra 30 currency per 50 people. I mean, you're talking about a lot of extra currency per territory battles, and that'll add up to a lot more gear, a lot more shards, a lot more. Hermit Yoda shards. I mean, overall, just a lot more stuff. So I think it's worth it. But I'm glad to see that there was some team unity there. People stepped up to try to help out other people, and we were able to get 46 people that got it done. So that's pretty cool. That's definitely that Team Instinct got 50 of 50, which is, I mean, that's awesome. It was a pretty close battle. It got pretty close there at the end. I wasn't sure whether we were going to get 43 or not, and then, we did some math, the last day, and, it ended up working out. So, that's definitely, really cool. But
there's a learning process too, you know what I mean? Like, you got to get in there and really play it. Like, I'm sure you guys learned a lot as far as, like, organizing and strategizing amongst yourselves, and the first week, you know, and just the actual battles themselves. You know, that battle on the final phase, not the Rogue One battle, but that other miscellaneous mission where you have to use rebels, that thing was hard, man. I did not expect it to be. I mean, that one was difficult.
Did I say 50 again?
Oh yeah, you've been dropping the bonus stars all night.
The bonus stars? Yeah.
Yeah, you've been getting the bonus stars.
Yeah, 50. No, you know, there could be other territory battles. I mean, listen, you know, I'm not saying that you know, there's any more stars for this event, but at some point there could be, you know, maybe, you know, who knows, maybe an Empire territory battles. And I'm not leaking any information because I don't know anything for sure, but I know that they definitely didn't just do this for nothing. And you could see the guild events section has one option right now, but you can scroll through, so there'll be other options added there, and I don't know what they'll be, but I imagine that there'll be probably something similar, maybe where we use different types of characters, because I mean, I doubt that they would limit you to just, you know, rebel characters for this event in some of the parts, you know, if they weren't going to eventually do that for maybe Empire or, you know, different factions like that. So just what I think. So, I mean, are you happy with the way you guys did, or do you think you guys could have done better?
I'm happy with the way we did. We definitely, I know for a fact we left 2 stars on the table, 100%, and fixed the 6-star capital ship issue. That one completely blindsided me. I did not anticipate us. Like, we only had 43 guys that could participate in the ship battle up top. We missed the 3rd star by, I don't know, 100,000. It was very, very little. We fixed that. You know, a couple of the guys I've seen it. You know, they bumped their ships up, and so that's an extra star. And then, to be honest, I mean, the guys themselves kind of bailed me out on like the 2nd and 3rd day. I had the real wonky game plan going, and they're like, "Hey, maybe we should do this," and you're like, "You guys are definitely right."
You guys are definitely right.
You guys are definitely right. You guys, you know, we all worked together and kind of brainstormed. Like yesterday, we put out a sheet. Just, you know, if you have these characters. You know, we put out, like, who has the odd characters, like the Pap Blue, the Low Grade, which we don't have any yet. And then, like, Lobots, Fulcrum Ahsoka. There's a couple ships, you know, we struggled with. Just so everybody can look at it and know, you know, you guys are, if there's only 2 of you on the list, you're kind of responsible for that character, right? And then at the bottom, we made, like, a willingness to always deploy, or platoon, like Wigs, Chase, all the meta characters. Like, if you can, you know, commit to platooning those every time, that's great. You know, because, you know, guys, I'm relying on resistance and these little makeshift, wonky, Scarifro Pathfinder rebel teams. You know, but, you know, other guys might not have resistance as high up as I do, so they can deploy those or platoon those every time. It's 2 or 3 weeks. It was smooth like butter, man. Won't have any problems with it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a learning curve. You know, obviously, just like anything else, when we first get into it, you're not going to really know what to do or, you know, how to attack it. Fortunately, we did a lot of planning. We did a lot of preparation before territory battles actually dropped, so we were able to get, you know, some really good, you know, rosters into the guild that, you know, helped us, you know, achieve the guild power that we needed to do certain areas. You know, I know we weren't able to get all the stars, but, I mean, again, you know, I'm really shocked by the amount of guild power that's required to get the 45 stars or the 44 stars. It's really you know, an unimaginable amount. Now, you know, you're going to get there eventually, because now obviously that you know that the focus is, you know, building up your guild power and all that stuff. There's going to be a lot more people doing that or focusing on that, but you grow your guild power, you know, with every little thing that you do. So even though it may seem like an insurmountable, you know, amount at the moment, eventually you'll get there. It's just a matter of, you know, continuing to gear up your characters, level up your characters with all the, you know, credit heists that you get, giving, you know, everything, just the little ability mats that you put on there, and working, you know, your roster all the way down, you know, going all the way to the bottom, and even giving some of those characters that you don't necessarily use so much, you know, some added gear, some added credits towards their leveling, You ultimately want all the characters to be level 85 eventually, and at least like gear 7 or gear 8 at the bottom, and work your way up. And that's the goal. And there's a lot of people there. I mean, listen, we have people in Alpha that are in some cases free to play, with the exception of maybe those daily booster packs or those weekly booster packs, and they're there with with all their characters all the way down level 85. I mean, with all the credits that you're getting, if you actually take advantage of all the different resources that the game gives you for free, there's a lot of stuff you can do with your roster. You can definitely build out your roster really well. Like I said, there's Daniels Jax in the guild. He's barely spent any money in this game, and his roster is pretty close to mine, and I've spent a lot of money. So just over time with farming and dedication, making sure you don't miss out on the the free stuff that you get it all. I've missed out on a lot of stuff. I mean, I've missed, I think, like in total, like probably, a bunch of raids. I know that because there's been times where I just forgot to post 0 or whatever, and it's not good. I've lost a lot of resources like that. I mean, but I've made up for it with crystal spendage and things like that. So. Any questions? What's the next question we have?
Oh, we ready for some questions?
Let's do some questions.
Quite a few here. Okay, well, this one's here at the bottom, so we'll start with Greg Waller.
Okay.
I'm running GK. I run Xeris, R2, Thrawn, and Darth Nihilus. I have a few tough days. Who do you think I should have as a fill-in or replace? I.e. CLS for Thrawn. I guess he's running GK lead with Xeris, R2, Thrawn, and Nihilus. I guess he's looking for maybe some suggestions on an alternating character to work on for his arena team.
That's a really good team. I don't know why you'd want to change that right now. That's probably one of the best teams you can put out there right now, honestly. If you were going to replace anybody, maybe Darth Nihilus with like Raid Han and a Zeta, or Thrawn. I'd keep Kenobi, Xeris, R2D2. If you could replace Thrawn and Nihilus with, let's say, Raid Han and Commander Luke Skywalker. I mean, those are two people that I'd put in there. But besides that, you're really running a really good team as it is. So
I actually just looked it up. That is the team he is running is actually the 7th most popular team in the entire game. 27% of first place teams use that team. I mean, if you're struggling, I don't think it's a case of the characters. I think it's more odds and try to gamble and improve your mods a little bit if you're having tough days. Because that is, like you said, a really good team.
And the problem is now with all the Cantina currency that you have to spend on, let's say, getting Captain Han Solo, or whatever characters that they throw in there. I mean, besides that, I was farming like Gar Saxon. Besides that, you can't really, you're not really getting an opportunity to farm mods. So you're either buying them out of the mod shipments, or I'm really only buying mods when we have double drops. That's the only time I'm really making investments in the mods. So. The mods suffer. So I mean, if you're not good with your mods, or you're behind with your mods, that would be the way to definitely get ahead if you're having problems in arena. Again, your team seems to be really good. I would think the biggest problem you have may be just keeping up with the speed and the offense of your opponents. Okay, next question.
Question from this one. This one's kind of similar. Ghost from the Alliance Alpha asks, 3 best arena team comps at the moment.
3 best arena team comps at the moment. I would say that team that we were just talking about. I'd say like General Kenobi with Barriss, Raid Han. I'd say, General Kenobi lead, Barriss, Raid Han, Commander Luke Skywalker, and R2D2. It's probably one of the best teams out there. Also, I'd say a really good team is Commander Luke Skywalker lead, with Raid Han, Leia, General Kenobi, and R2-D2. Another good team is, let me see here. Somebody in my my shard that runs them. Chopsticks team is always really good. Let's go take a look at that one. This is also a really good team. I mean, running Commander Luke lead with General Kenobi, R2-D2, Darth Nihilus and Thrawn, because I mean you can pretty much throw Darth Nihilus and Thrawn on any squad. I mean, if you have a Rex lead, you can throw Darth Nihilus and Thrawn on there. It's going to make it a good team, So, yeah, I would say them is the best way to go. What are your thoughts? What are the best 3 teams you think?
I like that team you just showed there, the Luke, R2, Nihilus, GK, Thrawn. I actually ran that for a while I was kind of setting up my current team. The team we talked about before is interesting. I don't have a Zeta Barris, but cool team. Then you got, I think you mentioned just the CLS Han Solo, GK, R2, Leia team. Those are cool. I'm trying to think of a team that doesn't include CLS. It's hard to do right now.
It's really you're either using the CLS or you're using Rex, right? Or you're using Kenobi with CLS.
No, I'm not using Rex. I don't use Rex.
I'm just saying.
There is a Rex team here in the top team. It's Rex, GK, Nihilus, R2, Thrawn. So I guess the same team we've seen for a while. That one's still sticking pretty strong. But everything else on this meta squads is all CLS leads. Every single one of them.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, it's all CLS. It's all, it's just not a lot of diversity right now. And that was not the case recently. I mean, there was, you had Maul leads, you had, you had, your Rebel, Chase teams, you had your Rebel Rogue One teams, you had pretty much everybody was viable for a long time there, and now. It's like if you're not running CLS and Rex, I mean that's pretty much it. Kenobi with a Zaris lead, with Zaris, with Zeta Barris, those are really the teams that are dominating right now. Because with some of those teams, I mean, you really pretty much you don't cover any ground. I mean, like you face, one of those like General Kenobi leads with, let's say, like a Zaris. You're almost doing like no damage. You attack and you're hitting Luke Skywalker. He's regenerating protection. He's he's not losing any health, and then like when you actually do whittle down the health a little bit, Barris is healing you. So it's just an annoying team to face more than anything. It's not like it's the damage. It's not like it's the synergy or anything like that. It's just the lack of ability to deplete their health, because their health just continues to regenerate, and you're not doing enough damage to take it out. It's annoying. So you have to have characters like Darth Nihilus or Thrawn that fracture characters or annihilate them in order to beat them, or you have to have characters like Death Trooper who do the Death Mark, so you can take them out. But without the expose or without the Death Mark or without the annihilate, some of these characters are just really annoying to face. So that's really the main thing. It's not like they're just ability blocking you or doing things synergy wise to keep you out of the game. It's more about the fact that there's just all this regeneration of protection and health now that wasn't around in the game in the past, that you have to factor in, that can extend these battles to be a few minutes sometimes.
Yeah, it was cool a couple months ago because there was so much variety in the arena. Like if you didn't have top shelf mods, you could kind of make up for it with your team comp. But now we're back to the same old thing, and it's basically a battle of mods. All the teams are so similar. It's just whoever has the best mods wins.
Right. Exactly.
I am fortunate to have good mods, but it's not very fun. Like it's just like, okay, well I got to make my Luke 1 speed faster than this guy's Luke. I got to make this character 1 speed faster than that's not fun to me. It's fun to build a team, to make it work, and maybe have a backup team for this squad, a backup team for that squad. But now it's just deck your whole team out with your best mods and cross your fingers that they're better than your opponents.
Well, that's really actually the most annoying thing for me is I like to build out like multiple teams, right? Like so I like to have, I have a Zeta Jin, I have a Zeta Finn. I have, Zeta Maul. I have, Commander Luke. I mean, I like to, try out different squads. I'm building up the Phoenix squad a little bit. Now, I'm not saying that the Phoenix squad on, now or on any planet is going to be viable in Arena, but, you're facing against people that literally only level up one squad, right? Like, all they do is level up that Arena team, and that's it. So you have these guys with like 100K, 102K, 99K power, because they've put every piece of gear they can, every best mod they have on that team. They don't switch it up at all. It's just always the same team over and over and over again, and they ride that team into the ground. And it's like, it's a little annoying because, I mean, again, I would like to switch it up, but I'm kind of forced to run my best modded team and my maxed out team because I can't really, compete with some of the teams that have, like fully maxed out characters that are gear 12 and, all the, they have all their Zetas and, they're all, modded out with the best mods that guy has. It makes it so, I really can't play around myself because, the competition is just literally just only working on one squad. Like, there's no diversity. It's just like that's the squad, so hopefully that changes at some point and, people start to, work on different squads, different teams. Territory battles itself is going to force that because you're going to have to work on other characters just to build up your galactic power. So it's eventually going to happen, but again, it just I feel like Arena was probably the funnest part of the game for me for the longest time, and it's kind of gone downhill. I mean, I feel like Arena is not what it used to be, and it's not as competitive, it's not as interesting anymore.
Yeah, I play like 2 battles a day. Like, I just don't even.
I used to love Arena. I mean, that's all I wanted to do was Arena. I love Arena. Arena was my thing. I mean, playing the tournaments, it was great, but now, I'm just, again, I'm just kind of disappointed about where Arena's at. So, I mean, I barely participate in Arena now. It sucks,
Yeah.
But,
well, all these new game modes and all this new stuff, I mean, you gotta, like, I'm kind of struggling to manage my time within the game, and Arena is kind of taking a back seat to some of this other stuff I'm trying to do. It's just, you can only play the game so many,
What happened?
So,
what happened
so
to
much a day.
What happened to Zeta Qui-Gon Jinn? I mean, Zeta Qui-Gon Jinn is all but eliminated. I mean, there's nobody's running Jedis right now.
Yeah, they fell off quick. The Jedi did.
Yeah,
I couldn't believe that.
Yeah, Jedi are done. I mean, there's nobody's running Jedi. It's all rebels. You cannot run anything but rebels right now, or like Kenobi.
Well, be patient with that, man. Herbert Yoda might change that up. I mean, Herbert Yoda might bring Jedi all the way back.
I don't know.
We'll have to see. We'll have to see how readable it really is. I mean, it looks cool in the videos, but I mean, I don't think anybody. I mean, I've never experienced with him, so I mean, and he looks like a character you really have to get in there and play with.
There's no way to know. There's no way to know until we have him in our hands, But I mean, the thing is that again, he even if he helps the Jedi, I don't think he's going to help them enough to compete with some of these. I mean, you're going to have to add another Jedi, that would be really cool, or rework somebody. I hope that, by the time that Yoda is available for me, like by the time I'm able to get the shards that I need to get a 7-star Hermit Yoda, that they've decided at that point to release a Jedi rework, and then they'll make characters like Platoon, Kit Fisto, Ayla Secura. I mean, Ayla Secura is already pretty good, but characters like Mace Windu. Please fix Mace Windu. I mean, I love Mace Windu, the character in the movies, and I wish that Mace Windu was actually good in this game because he's never been. They've tried several times, and it's always been a failure. Every time Mace Windu gets any kind of addition or a change to him, it always seems to make him even worse. I mean, I don't know. I remember they added the ability for you to get what was it, like an expose on a random target, and then he would never attack that target. So it was always something that just didn't work out for the AI on defense. I mean, like most things, but I mean, he was also just not good enough on offense either to work on any squad. I mean, you've never seen Mace Windu in the top characters list. He definitely needs to get some sort of love. That's just my opinion. Next question.
All right, next question comes from, I don't know. Oh, our man Harry Tasker. You know, a lot of people have actually asked. A lot of people have asked about this. Who do you guys have at Gear 12? What are your next 3 you want to do? That's a pretty popular question tonight. Is who are the top 3 characters we should take to Gear 12?
Well, so far I have Commander Luke and R2-D2 to Gear 12. Not as many as other people do. But next I'm working on Kenobi, Thrawn, and then Darth Nihilus.
Yeah, that's about the same. I've got R2, CLS, and Kenobi done. And I'm kind of unsure where to go. I was going to do Poe, just because I love Poe. But I mean, I did these territory battles last week, and you really don't need Gear 12 Poe. You don't really need any Gear 12 characters at all for territory battles. That's kind of nice. I mean, if you've got the nice mods, I mean, I was getting 6 phases done.
Honestly, some of the later rounds are tuned for Gear 12. I'll tell you that. I mean, like, you know, I definitely fought some battles that were really hard in the latter parts. I mean, like, you know, when you get to that, those combat missions in the last phase, like the Rebel required, all Rebels one. I mean, I got like there was one where I got like, I mean, 5 characters with locks on their heads. And it was brutal. I mean, I got wiped out.
The old Rebel was tough, but I mean, I had no problem with the bottom territory in Phase 6. Then just breeze through with Resistance.
I beat every.
The Rogue One.
I only lost one time ever with any combat mission, and it was in the final phase in that Rebel battle, and I got wiped out in the 4th round, in the 4th wave. Destroyed my whole team. I mean, they just wiped me out. I was running a wedge lead. I was running a wedge lead with Biggs, I think Lando, and Baze and Chirrut, and I got destroyed. That was.
Yeah, I breezed through the Rogue One, but I mean, we're really fortunate. We've got a guy that is just Mr. Rogue One inside. His name's Morg. And okay. I will confess to just going into his SWGOH profile and straight up copying his mods. I just went in and copied everything and went in there and just dusted it. And the Resistance beat the bottom, and that I'll have to work on a team for that Phase 5. Because, you know, you can't have all your characters because you're using Baze and True and the other one, and then you're using, you're going to platoon some of your other rebels. So I'll really have to get in there and try. But as far as Gear 12 goes, back to the question, I would focus on your arena team first. I would not Gear 12 anybody for territory battles right now. I worry about your arena team. You suggested Thrawn, Nihilus. I'm personally going to probably do Ezra, maybe.
I think you need to look Empire. I think we're coming around to the new Star Wars movie, Last Jedi, right? And you know they're coming out with characters for the movie, so they're going to be coming out with most likely the Praetorian Guard, right? Like that new guard for Supreme Leader Snoke, the new Red Guards that look like the old Red Guard. They look like the Royal Guard, but they're like, it's like a football helmet almost. Like, it's not a football helmet. It's like a weird helmet, but it's like plastic instead of robes, And then you have probably Supreme Leader Snoke himself. I mean, at this point, he's going to be a lot more featured in this movie than he was in the last one. I mean, I think we're going to actually get to see him in person. So I wouldn't be surprised if we got either Old Man Luke and Supreme Leader Snoke, when the movie came out. We'll probably get a different version of Phasma, maybe, because I think Phasma has a new weapon in this movie. You got to figure that we're going to get that guy at Hux that was in the first movie that we didn't get this time, that we didn't get last time. So he'll probably come in, and then there's going to be some Empire characters, I think, for sure.
Well,
I also saw a
go ahead.
character, a figure that they have of a stormtrooper that's considered. It's called like an elite stormtrooper judge or something like that, and it's a stormtrooper that actually like the one in charge of passing judgment on traitors and people guilty of treason. So
And I would be shocked if they, Battlefront's coming out. I would be super shocked if they didn't do some kind of crossover into this game with the, because there's supposed to be a new part of the story in the single player part of that
oh,
game,
right,
correct?
right. You're talking about that whole Inferno squad.
Right.
R-
I would be shocked if they didn't do some sort of crossover because they're both EA games, right?
Right.
And this is supposed to be like unreleased story coming out in that
Oh,
video game.
we're,
So
de- we're
I would be shocked if we don't have just an influx of characters from that as well.
yeah. I think we're going to get that a couple of characters from the Inferno squad. I think that girl,
Yeah.
whatever, I
I
forget
would
what her
say
name
the
is.
girl for sure. She was actually at the EA play, was she not? Like
She
the
was
actress that actually played the.
she was actually there, yeah.
Yeah.
And she did a piece on stage, and yeah, I mean, I think I think you'll definitely get her character in the game without a doubt, and maybe some of her team. I don't know how the story plays out, but it's supposed to pick up right after the Death Star gets blown up on Endor, right? Like, so they're like actually on Endor. Is it no? Is it Yavin or is it Endor? I forget where.
Oh, I'm not sure, man.
I think it's.
No cards asking. I want
I
to
think
say
Endor.
that
I think
like
Endor
Reebok.
was. I think Endor.
Can you talk me out of it? Yes, no card. Don't do it.
It looks like
Don't
they're on.
do
It looks like they're on Endor. I think at the end, right? I mean, when I saw the commercial for the movie, it looks like they're. Yeah, that I think that's what it is. So, yeah, but it takes place right after that. Yeah, no card. You should totally Zeta your Cassian, and I know you're jealous. I know you're totally jelly about that.
I'm gonna be that guy in Zeta Stormtrooper Han here probably next. I'm gonna be that guy and try it out, and then
You-
hate myself and then stick him right in the shelf with other wasted Zetas like Kylo.
You should Zeta your pal. Is what you should do.
No.
If you don't Zeta your pal, you're missing out. Okay.
All right. Let's
Next question.
let's get on to is from. Oh, let's see. That's the same question. This one's actually directed towards you, from All Star Play a Dang.
What's
Why
going
don't
on,
you get
All-Star?
381 stars in Dark Side and Light Side battles, Ramon?
Why do I have 381 stars in dark side and light side battles? What's the question?
Yeah. He asks, why don't you get all the stars in the Dark Side and Light Side missions?
Because I want to give myself something to do later. Okay, and that day hasn't come yet. No, I mean honestly, I've only done I've only done the battles. Honestly, it's a good question. I've only done the battles that I have to do for gear, right? Like so, I haven't done the ones that give me nothing, other than an accomplishment for finishing a battle. So eventually, I will, like when we get a new level, which will obviously come with whenever we get a new level cap increase. But if they add gear to those battles, or once I need the gear that is in those battles, yeah, then I'll complete it. Or I guess like one day when I'm just sitting there. But I mean, for the most part, when I do this stuff in the game, it's usually what I have to do to get my rewards for that day. So I usually don't, complete stuff like that unless it's necessary to get some sort of piece of gear or shards or something like that. So, I mean, same thing happened like, for a lot of people when they, added Shore Trooper to the hard notes. The first time they were actually attacking, level 9B was to get Shore Trooper shards. So similar to that, I mean, like, when they added the two ships there, the Phantom and the Ghost, that's when I actually completed those nodes. Up until that point, I didn't touch them because I didn't need anything from there.
Yeah, I can't talk junk either. I'm missing 8 Cantina battle stars and then 3 on the dark side, so I can't talk too much junk.
Yeah, it's
I
just
guess.
it's just laziness. That's really all it boils down to. Let's be real, But yeah, no. Eventually, I have to do that. So, next question.
All right, we got one from fellow Zai member. representing in the chat. He says basically just wants us to explain, I guess, our platoon strategies. You know, the best strategies for platoon, how to maximize territory battle points, specifically in platoon. So, how did you guys handle the platoons in Alpha? What was your game plan?
Well, our game plan was to, basically we were platooning first, then doing combat missions, and then and then actually deploying characters into certain areas. So it was, as far as like which people were getting or using the platoons. I mean, you just had to make sure that it's a little different in Alpha because most people have pretty good secondary teams in our guild. So it's like we really didn't have to be too careful about who was giving away their bays or their Charuk, because almost everybody has also like a Rogue One squad or a Zeta Finn squad that can get you through some of those combat missions. But we just wanted to make sure that we didn't deploy any of the characters that you needed to get through those battles. So if anybody had let's say a roster that wasn't necessarily able to defeat certain battles because of deploying characters early, we'd tell them to hold on and just let guys like Sky fill up the roster first. Like guys like Krunif or Alpha Mall Eliza, let them go first and use their characters because they have backups, and then everybody else got a shot to do it later. But for the most part, it was a little bit different because, like I said, we didn't have to be as careful as some other guilds do because most of our guys do have a lot of good backup teams. So I really wouldn't compare it to we didn't have to sit there and say, okay, you do this, you do that. Now with certain parts, like the ships, like when we came down to having the Millennium Falcons and the Kylo Ren ships and things like that, there were only a couple of guys in the guild that had those ships, so we weren't necessarily able to actually deploy everything.
Yeah, a lot's going to come down to like we're in Zai, we're pretty stout. I mean, we're not quite to the Alpha level, but we're pretty stout. But we had some problems. I guess you just want to identify which characters are the trouble spots. Like we had 7-star Lobots, but on phase 6 they decided just to throw 7-star Lobots into the platoon, and that was kind of a problem for us. I think we have 5 7-stars as a guild, which doesn't sound very good. But Lobot's a hard character to get, and he sucks. He's not a desirable character. Well, why in the world would you farm Lobot out of the hard nose unless you have nothing else to farm? I mean, and we had an issue where we kind of left the star on the table last week. Is we started platooning, right, like we normally do, and much like you guys, we have guys with multiple squads, and they don't have a problem coughing up the meta characters. But we started platooning, and we realized we don't have any 6-star low grade Paploons. We've got 14 to 15 characters in a platoon with a character that we don't have as an entire guild. And so we learned a lesson there. That was a pretty valuable one. I guess, and when you're platooning, you kind of want to make sure you fill up all the rows. Because, I mean, if you get a bad roll, right, and there's let's say there's 9 Leias and 7 Bazes and 8 Charuts and all the meta characters, you kind of want to focus, especially on the platoon 5 and 6, because they give you more territory points when you fill them up. So try to insert your characters into the platoons that are closest to being full instead of just spread them all over the board. Just little lessons you learn every week can be a little smoother. Try to platoon first, obviously, because I was under the impression the platoon counter for the next battle, but it looks like it kind of applies to the same one, because I know on the we're getting level 3 platoon bonuses, and I thought that applied to the next one. I still got to kind of figure that out. On phase 6, you definitely have to platoon first to get those bonuses, because and we kind of stalled out there. I think we got level 1 and level 2 there due to the Paploons, the low grades, and the low bots. And it really, if you get the level 2, level 3 platoons on that phase 6, that Rogue One and that Rebel mission get a lot easier. But you want to fill them up. All those territory points add up.
Oh yeah.
Bonuses.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's It got close. I think on the last day to get the 43rd star, I think we were, we only had like 1,000,003 of a gap to play with. So it was like a matter of oh man, I shouldn't have done that. It was a matter of just if we were off by a couple more battles, or if people screwed up and deployed in the wrong area, we wouldn't have gotten the 43rd star. So it worked out because the coordination from the officers, making sure that everybody didn't deploy early, and then creating spreadsheets to send out who to deploy, especially as you got into the later days, like when you got to phase 3 and phase 4. It became a little more difficult because you want to make sure you. There were 5 phases, right? Or 4 phases. There's 4 phases.
What, platooning?
No, I'm talking about in all of territory battles.
6. You get 6 phases. Yeah, 6 phases.
So 6 days.
Yeah, and that's why, personally as an officer of a guild, like they released that there was a 5-day break in between territory battles. That was like the best news of my life. Like I was, if we only got 1 day off in between territory battles, we're trying. Everyone's working together. I mean, everyone is. I mean, that would cause severe burnout extremely quick. Like it's a lot of work, man. These territory battles are. Not only for the officers but for all the members too. Especially we're a global guild. So I mean, we got to get in there. We got a platoon first, and everyone's got 12 hours to do their combat missions, and then we start a deployment procedure. 12 hours in, just because we have to allow the whole guild an opportunity to get in there. And it can be frustrating because we got people all over the world. They're going to do it. It's just when they have an opportunity to get in there, it's just it's a big learning curve. It's a lot of work, man. It's like you said. You point out people directing traffic with spreadsheets, like, hey, you deploy here, you platoon here, you platoon here. It's a lot of work for a video game, man. It's and then we get these rewards, and they're just 5 pieces of gold salvage for hours upon hours of work across 50 people. It's just like, ugh.
Yeah,
I really hope they do something about that. Maybe amp them up a little bit, because that's rough, man.
6 days. 6 days is a long time, man. 6 days is a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, but that's what I'm saying. So during like day 5 and day 6, you really have to be a lot more careful about where you deploy your character. So, the first thing we do is, we do the platoons, then we do the combat missions, and then once everybody's done with the combat missions, like at night, was when they'd send out the list of the people that they wanted to deploy where. So they'd say, okay, start deploying south, start deploying north, and then they'd say stop, and then we'd have the first couple of days, you can get away with just doing like light side, dark side, and just deploying one in each section, But when it comes to the end, you want to make sure that, especially when it gets down to like a tighter gap where you don't necessarily have, 20 million to play with, and you want to be more precise about where you issue your people, So it's a lot more coordinated at that point. All right, let's do one more, and then let's call it a day.
All right. I think we have a lot of questions, but a lot of them were kind of similar. We touched on a lot of them as we were kind of going through the material. Let's see. Okay, Big Brother 67 asks, which Zetas would you guys prioritize for the territory battles? Which Zetas do you think are the most important to have success in the territory battles?
I would go ahead and say, really? That's the second time he, fractured my Luke Skywalker. That's ridiculous.
Are you looking to read the battles on stream again?
Yeah. Okay, so I would say Zeta Finn, Zeta Jin, really help you get through some of those combat missions, especially the later rounds. Obviously, you can go with a Zeta, Commander Luke. That would help out. But my priorities, I'd say, would be Zeta Finn, Zeta Jin, and Commander Luke, most likely.
Yeah, I would definitely do Finn first, because every phase, the bottom territory just has kind of a wide open light side. You can use any light side character. So Zeta Finn, I breezed through all 6 phases, no problem with Zeta Finn. I got 6 phases on all the missions that didn't require rebels. So Zeta Finn would be number 1. And I would even go out on a limb and say Zeta Finn is now like a top 3 Zeta usefulness in the game. Like the territory battles, he crushes the tank raid. Galactic War is a breeze. I say a breeze, but no, Galactic War is extremely difficult again. But it'll help you there. And also, if you can get enough speed on Poe, they're semi-viable for Arena. You saw Finn on the meta report. He's still got 28 or so leaders in the top spot across all the servers. So I think Finn's very good. Zeta Jin is obviously going to help you tremendously, because Zeta Jin is actually pairs pretty well on Soldier. The missions you have to use him, she's a good option there, because Hoth Rebel Soldier does the defense up for the whole team, so he's going to give you protection back from Jin's leadership. And also, Hoth Rebel Soldier counters, and he has a debuff on his basic. So, you got a chance to expose the enemy. And once you start getting to 5 and 6, those 5th and 6th phases, those exposes are pretty clutch, man. That's a lot of damage you're doing based on the max health pool of those characters. Very good there. You mentioned Commander Luke, so that's a no-brainer. Especially if you can only do one, I would suggest maybe the Binds All Things.
Yeah, I agree. Zeta Finn, Zeta
Jin.
The
only 3 you need. Just from a first, like if you have to have Zetas, I would say those 3. Oh, Number Crunch and R2 is also one that I would recommend.
Yeah, I agree.
And of course, there's tons of little cutesy ones. Like I think you have Cassian. He'd be good. K2SO is not very good, but usable in the final phase there. There's Great Hot.
1% protection sucks. Yeah, I wish that was more.
If the length of the battle was a little longer, that one would you'd really benefit from that one. It's just you don't really.
I went all Rogue One. I have Zeta Finn. Zeta Finn. I have Zeta Jin, Zeta K2SO, and Zeta Cassian, and they suck. It's great for territory battles, but I thought that the Rogue One squad was going to work in Arena. Just wanted it to,
And I'll tell you what, man, I never really used Cassian until this came out. I am pleasantly surprised with how good a character he's been.
Oh yeah, I won the tournament for Cassian.
Oh, he's amazing. He's so good. I'm still missing a gold eyeball to take him to 11, and he's still just in there pumping up damage, the exposes, the debuffs. I guess if you have a Zeta Cody, that's usable the first 4 phases, but it really loses its punch in like phase 5 and 6. There's just not enough damage and not enough, I guess, survivability. On Zeta Cody would be really good for this, but then I used it in the 5th phase of the territory battles, and I barely squeaked through it. Like, I got really lucky. Like 5's pretty much carried me through the last 3 guys, and I got the 6 out of 6.
Yep. All right, but I think that we're gonna have to maybe ask one more question, and then we'll call it a stream. Let's do one more. Do we have any more?
Perfect. Yeah, Dr. Nokard just asked for phase 6, the Rogue One fight.
Not Dr. Nokard. Somebody else. Okay, not Dr. Nokard. No, I'm kidding. What did he ask?
Okay, well,
I'm kidding. What did he say?
Dr. Penicillin asks for phase 6, Rogue One fight. Would you use the traditional Rogue One team, Jin, Chase, K2, and Cassian, or use Scarab, Rebel, Pathfinder, Pal, Biston, etc.?
Well, I would say that depends on how well developed your Pal, Biston, and the other characters are. But yeah, I think that Biston is definitely a character you could throw in there. I think he's a really great character pretty much in every part of the game. He's great in a raid too. Biston definitely. I don't know about POW, but I would consider Scarifo a Pathfinder if you have, let's say, characters that are going to give a lot of buffs. Like let's say you have a Zeta Cassian, then yeah, I'd consider a Scarif Pathfinder because he's going to always have buffs on him, and that can really help out. Also, you have Jin that can revive him, so I would consider him too.
Yeah, the team I used is Jin, Chase, K2SO, and Cassian. I guess a lot of people are probably be lacking the K2SO because he's kind of a difficult gear. Scarecrow Pathfinder is definitely a good substitute. I always get these little kicks about these odd characters, and I'm on a big kick for Scarecrow Pathfinder for this territory battle. He is amazing. He's a pain to gear. He's like Kenobi-like gear, but if you can get him up to, you don't even need him at gear 11. You get him at gear 10, and he is this. I mean, all the turn meter he gives. You put him on Luke Skywalker lead. He's countering, giving more turn meter. But basically, just Jin, Chase, K2SO, and Cassian seems to be the go-to team. Like K2SO, because he kind of sucks. So.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. And something else you guys really want to start developing your Phoenix, because the Phoenix are really good for these territory battles. Everyone's got their opinion on which 5 are the best to use, but for you guys out there that are in the, not the very top tier 100 million plus galactic power guilds, these Phoenix characters are going to allow you to cough up your wigs, your chaves, and stuff for the platoons, and you'll still be able to get the 6 faces done in the. It might take you 15 minutes, but you'll get it done.
Yeah, they don't do a lot of damage, but you know what? The protection regen and the synergy is good. I think that they could be, they definitely need a lot more damage. I mean, the only people that hit are Sabine and Ezra. Kanan does nothing to speak of, and.
Well, Kanan's got the unique. I wouldn't use Kanan either, but he's got that countering unique. So, I mean, you got to get some damage out of it. I'm not trying to play a 45-minute, 6-phase battle, without the counters.
Yeah, and they're necessary. So, I mean, they're definitely worth farming regardless because you're going to need them to complete that battle. So, I mean, you need them. But that's pretty much it, guys. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up here. We've already been talking way too long, and I'm sure... some of you might have better things to do, okay? But we will be in Discord after this, so if you want to come chat with us, you can join us there. And as always, if you'd like to join the Alliance, go on over to www.thealliancegaming.com and follow the instructions into our Discord channel. There you can find tons of great, advice, tons of great gamers, other YouTubers just like myself and Anal T101, the Reality Scoot Gamers. Also, you'll find great guys just in the chat. Very often you can find a golden chinchilla just roaming wild in the voice chat, and you can ask him questions, or even me myself about the game, or just come chat and we can talk about arena teams and strat and theorycraft and all that stuff. And as we get into the next phase here of the territory battles, with the second territory battles coming here on Monday, we're definitely going to be releasing some guides, from the Alliance, and try to help out any guilds in any way we can. So also go on over to check out the other content providers in the Alliance. You can find links to their sites on thealliancegaming.com as well. We have over, I think, 60 guilds right now. So if you want to join the Alliance, we definitely have a home for you. But all playing styles and all levels. So just come on down. You don't have to be a whale or anything like that to come with us. We got a place for all different types of players. But I appreciate you guys checking us out this week. Did you want to add something, Maurice?
was just saying, you know, I mean, even if you just want to hang out, I mean, there's no obligation to join the guild. I mean, it's an open server, and if you guys join the server, there's a channel in there, Game Discussion and Help. There's a lot of great players, a lot of members from Alpha, some of Remon's guild mates is in there, you know, helping out, answering questions about territory battles, and all sorts of good stuff. I mean, we got a lot to offer, you know. So
yeah. But I appreciate you guys sticking it out with us today, and glad you know, that you guys you know, enjoy the show, and you know, we'll be back next week with another episode. Most likely going to be on Saturday night next week. So you know, expect that Saturday night around you know, between 9 or 10 o'clock at night, and we will you know, roll it out again back you know, at that point. But you know, again, you know, appreciate you guys coming out and you know, listening to us, sitting with us for a little while, and good luck on your next territory battles, and we'll see you on the next one. May the force be with you guys.
Adios.